A phrase that makes people uncomfortable, but one that is increasingly heard in conversations among successful men. You can date a single mother, but don't marry her. And although this thought may sound harsh, it's based on logic, responsibility, and a life strategy. Today we're going to explain why so many high-value men simply avoid making permanent commitments to women who already have children by another man. Brace yourself, because we're not going to sugarcoat the truth here. 1. Because they understand their value. A successful man knows what it took to get to where he is. Years of effort, sleepless nights, discipline, defeats, and sacrifices. And when he reaches a point where he can choose, he does so intelligently. He doesn't need to settle. He has options. And when he has the chance to start from scratch with a woman without other people's burdens, why would he take on someone else's? It's not cruelty. It's a life strategy. 2. They don't want to be parents to children that aren't their own. This may hurt, but it needs to be said. Raising other people's children isn't any successful man's fantasy. Many have done it out of obligation or emotional pressure, but few, if they had the freedom to choose, would do it out of pleasure. Because a child represents an emotional, financial, and time investment. And when that child is the fruit of another relationship, many men feel they're paying for mistakes they didn't make. Furthermore, the risk is high. If the relationship ends, the bond with the child is broken, but the emotional and financial consequences remain. 3. Unbalanced power dynamics. In a relationship with a single mother, the child will always come first. And that's fine, that's the way it should be. But for a man, that means accepting second place by default. A successful man seeking to start a family of his own doesn't want to be a satellite in someone else's system. He wants to build from the ground up. Be the head of the household. Forge his own legacy. He doesn't want to be a guest in a story that's already been written. 4. The ghost of the biological father. Whenever a woman has children from another relationship, there's a third character in the equation, the biological father. And even if he's absent, he still has an impact. Visits, decisions, influence, history. Many men don't want to deal with other people's conflicts, legal dramas, or outside interference. They seek peace, not complications. And by committing to a single mother, they automatically accept an emotional burden that isn't theirs. 5. They have better options. It's that simple. A successful man isn't limited to the average dating market. He has access to younger, childless women with less emotional baggage and willing to build something new from the ground up. So, if he can choose between a 28-year-old woman, childless, ready to build, or a 38-year-old woman with 2 children and emotional scars, the choice, for most, is clear. 6. Experience taught them. Many successful men weren't born with that mindset. They learned through pain, failed relationships, and unappreciated sacrifices. They gave their all, raised children who weren't their own, and in the end, they ended up just as alone, but emptier. That's why, when they achieve success, they promise themselves never to make the same mistake again. And it's not hate. It's emotional survival. 7. They don't want to inherit other people's problems. Success brings stability. And stability attracts many people, some genuine, others self-serving. Many high-value men know that by getting involved with a single mother, they inherit not only children, but also financial problems, unresolved traumas, conflictive ex-partners, emotional exhaustion, and they know that, in many cases, the reward isn't worth the risk. 8. Legacy matters. For a successful man, the family name, the lineage, the legacy matter. It's not just about having a family, but about building something that will last. And for many, that starts with having children of their own, raising them from scratch, and passing on their values, principles, and worldview. When they enter a relationship where the children aren't their own, they feel like they're investing in land already sown by someone else. And that doesn't inspire pride. It inspires resignation. Conclusion: this video is not an attack on single mothers. Many are valuable, hardworking women who do the best they can. But in the dating market, the reality is clear. Successful men choose coldly. And their choice rarely includes raising other people's children. Why? Because they may not. Brother, if you're paving your way to success, don't ignore this truth. Being good doesn't mean being stupid. And having a good heart doesn't mean accepting any burden. Protect your legacy. Protect your peace. And choose with vision, not guilt. Red Circle subscribe if you want more unfiltered content, with uncomfortable truths and a clear vision for the man who wants to wake up.